Hey guys, we're here today with Grimrock. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Doing all right.
Nice.
It's been a
I'm really,
day.
I'm really smiling under this. I am.
It's okay. I believe you.
All right.
I remember that when we had COVID and we had to wear the masks and everyone would be like, hi, and you wave, but like smile, but without waving, and people couldn't see it. I thought
Right.
I was a Karen.
I'm full of emotion.
Like not a
I
Karen.
know. You what?
I'm full of emotion. It's good.
Okay.
You just can't. I just can't express it.
All right. So I want to start off with just how you started. How did you start Grimrock in general?
Grimrock was a project started kind of out of frustration. I had another project right before this that I worked with another gentleman. His name was Mark Kushak, and he's an old friend of mine. And he wrote a book of lyrics, and he was having a hard time trying to sell it. And called me up one day, and he messaged me on Facebook actually, and he had asked me to call him, and I did, and I told him I'd help him write a couple songs and whatnot. Well, it turned into about a 15-month project, and it just wasn't going anywhere, and I was just so frustrated with that, and so I decided to start this Grimrock thing, and wasn't for lack of trying on the other. The stuff wasn't good. As a matter of fact, the whole Grimrock, the first 4 tracks, the last 3 of the 4 tracks are the last 3 tracks for the other project. That's how much I believed in it. And that's how it all started.
Right on. Okay, good to know. I would have never even thought that, so that's a plus. I know that you have the mask on today.
Yes.
Normally, you have your face painted. I have it in one of these pictures, which you can't see. Well, I guess right here you can. But
right.
You want to explain the face painting and like that whole look?
So I have different masks and different variations of the paint. The one that you see in the pictures are the one that I use most. That actually came from a Halloween costume a bazillion years ago. It looked completely different. I mean, the face, it looked similar to it like that, but the actual costume was a little bit different. Still had a top hat and everything, but it was gray and it was more like Halloween-y because it was supposed to be a Halloween outfit. And I had gone to a company party. I had a little bit too much to drink before I went, and so I grunted at everybody, and it really disturbed a bunch of people because I wouldn't talk. And I thought that was the greatest thing. So ever since then, I was like, I'm going to use that one day. And now here's Grimrock, and I'm definitely using it as my stage outfit, and some different other things that I use it for.
Yeah, I think it's pretty neat, and it makes you unique from everybody else.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Do you have a question?
No,
I didn't want to interrupt you. Okay.
Good.
I want to know about some inspirations you've had. I don't know. You could do now or growing up or whatever.
I can go back pretty far with the inspirations. I mean, my dad was a musician himself. He was believe it or not, a trained classical pianist, so he was all into like the classical music.
Okay.
And so between hearing that and growing up, when I heard a lot of different type of music. And one day I was sitting in the basement in my mom's house and was looking through some old 45s, and had one in particular that I saw. It was Shadows of Night. And the song was Gloria, but it was Gloria 69. It was different from the 66 version. It had really heavy overdub guitars and everything on it. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, that's what I want to do, And that was the biggest inspiration outside of my dad, with the music always around, so that's where I'm at with that,
Yeah. Do you play any instruments?
Everything you hear on the tracks are all me.
Okay.
I have my own little home studio. I have drums in the corner over there. I got my bass over there. Everything else housed underneath me and around me.
So you're a one-man band.
I am, and it's nice when I play out because I can just hook up and get rigged down real quick. But it kind of sucks in a way because a lot of people like to see full bands, and I'm not. It's me and my band in a box.
And well, I mean, it's not a bad thing. It still makes you unique, still than everybody else.
Oh yeah, it works. I can make it work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just have my backing tracks on the tablet, and then I wipe out all the guitars and vocals, all of it. And then I just let the drums and bass and any kind of synth I added in or whatnot. And then I just play along with it and sing and play the guitars and leads,
It's some talent.
It's different. You know, it's you got to be creative as you can be creative and still change it up from place to place the best you can with different licks and different things. You know, a different vibe with it. That way it doesn't become stale because it is backing tracks. You know what I mean? Those I can't change on the fly. You know, so I'll sing things differently or add a word or subtract a word or really mess it up sometimes. You know, just to keep it fresh. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right on. My gosh. Sorry.
Sorry.
Okay. That's pretty neat though. I think you're pretty unique, so that's awesome.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. What about some of your new tracks, albums, um, all of that stuff
So the new tracks I have out,
coming up?
yeah, well, I have one coming out here on October 28th, and that one I've put a lot of time and resources in, and there's been a lot of people that jumped in on it. You know what I mean? And that was going to be Abyss.
Okay, so the new one is Abyss.
Right, that's going to be the new one. It started out with Angel Val. She had come up with lyrics and sent them to me in January. So that's how far behind I really am with everything. But I read them and I told her, I was like, I like them. I want to use them. And well, it just came time that, you know, I got to that track finally and put it together. And then we decided we were going to do like photos together and stuff because she lives about an hour and a half from me, maybe hour and 15 minutes or so. So we're going to pick a day and do some photos. And I toyed around with an idea of a video, and I wanted her in it because it's her lyric, you know what I mean? I think it'd be cool. Well, we get up there. The guy that
Right.
was the guy that I had was canceled out, you know, to do the photographs. So I had ended up reaching out to some other people. The lady that's in the video, Marissa Violent, she's actually from the Cleveland area. She got her friend Melvin, who actually did the photos in the video. We made 2 trips, one to Youngstown, Ohio, and one to Cleveland, Ohio, to do everything for that. So it turned into a pretty big project, you know. And then from there, I had cover art already, but someone else from Columbus, Ohio, got in on it. Her name's Nicole, and she had got cover art for it. So why not? I use that. And then I'm getting a guy from Connecticut to do the mixing and mastering. So, I mean, it just really snowballed. So I'm glad everybody kind of believes in it, you know?
Yeah, it's also good to have really good support.
Oh, yeah. This was fantastic. I couldn't ask for any more, you know?
Yeah, I did notice that you have a really good support system, and that means everything in the music industry today.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you have to have that.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's great, and I look forward to hearing all that, all your new stuff and whatnot. What kind of goals do you have for yourself? Like even if it's small goals for the next year or just an overall goal.
Immediate goal would be just to get this album finished, man. I've been at it since January, and I still got a couple more tracks to add. One is Cursed Woman, and the other one's called My Friend. And once I get those 2 done, I think I'll be done with it finally. So I want to get it out, get it in a physical print. I've never had anything in mind in a physical print. It's always been digital. So I'd
Yeah.
like to get it in a physical print to be able to do something with, you know. Pretty much just push, just gig, get on the gig wagon and just start really pushing everything and see how far I can go with it, you know.
Yeah. I like that.
So, do you mostly do local shows or do you tour around?
It's local within 4 to 5 hours. You know
Okay.
what I mean? It's not anything, on the East Coast far or, in the Midwest or anything like that. I haven't got that far yet. But once I get this out, once I get this done, I plan on really kind of expanding where I'm going to go, as far as playing and everything.
And where is it that you're based out of?
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And my next gig's in Erie. So it's about 3.5 hours from here.
Okay, but you're still getting out there, so that's a plus.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm still playing gigs in the middle of all this and hitting open mics and whatever I can to promote everything,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do you do in your spare time besides the music?
Work.
Right.
I mean, I work, I got a family, you know what I mean? I got to take care of those kind of things too, you know? So there's not much free time or downtime between all that, you know, because whatever's left, you know, I put it 100% into the music, you know, because I want it to be successful, you know?
Right. Okay. I think that's awesome. Got really going on, and I think that you're at an amazing start. I mean, just the knowledge that you seem to have already is pretty powerful on even getting started. So that's always a plus.
Yeah. I mean, it's things that I used to do before and, you know, playing with other people in bands before and doing original music before and submitting to record companies years ago. And I just kind of got a good general idea of everything. I mean, I don't know everything in such a great detail that, you know, whatever, but you know, it's a good working base model to come off of, you know. And with, you know, a lot of the people that I play, you know, either recorded with or people I talk to daily, you know, that does the indie music too, you know, it's just great. It's a support system.
How do you feel about the music industry today?
I think there's a lot of great things going on with it, you know, as far as a lot more musicians playing than there has been. I've been to several open mics where there's been a lot of younger people and, you know, being interested in getting up on stage and doing their thing. And I think that's really good. There's been like kind of an awakening, you know, especially for a younger crowd too, you know, to want to get up and participate, you know. I think there's a good vibe going, you know, within the indie community. There's tons of good music. I mean, it's just ridiculous how much good music there is out there. And even some of them, I'll shake my head and I'm like, I don't know how in the heck these guys aren't signed. You know what I mean? It's just fantastic sounding, you know. But
Right.
I think the industry itself is in good shape as far as the musician side of it. Now, you know, you get on the other side of it, you know, there's all kind of things you can talk about, and I'm sure it's all been talked about before. But you know, the industry itself's not a very forgiving industry at all. You know what I mean? So I try to
Yeah.
focus on, you know, the other side, you know, the musicians and, you know, all the accomplishments that we can get, you know, in our little spots in the planet, you know.
Yeah. Are you planning on staying independent, or how
Um, that's a yes and no question. I'd love to, but in the same token, I'd like to get signed too. You know, I think that's probably everybody's answer. You know what I mean? Most everybody's answer. You know, I would think.
yeah.
You know, there's certain things that the independent side offers that a label just can't. You know, all the flexibility and freedoms that you got to thing, but then you also have to shoulder the burdens of everything that you're doing too. You know, I do so much in management on the side with the promotion, keeping up the websites and every other side of it. You know, it's very time consuming. I wish I had, you know, a label to do that, you know, so I can create and play. You know what I mean? That's really what I'm looking at.
Right. Okay. All right. I think those were great answers. Yeah.
So I know you're like more of like a one man band. But you ever see yourself bringing in other musicians?
I'd like to. That'd be cool, you know, to have somebody to play with, you know. Right in my see, I live right just south of the Pittsburgh, you know what I mean? So right in my immediate area, everybody's interested in playing cover tunes, doing the weekend warrior thing. And you know, you mentioned original music, and they're like, well, there's no music, and there's no money in that. There's this, there's that. It's every excuse, you know. So it's a little bit difficult. I mean, I could get people in Pittsburgh to help me play, but then there's a time span, and then you're working with people in schedules and distance. You know what I mean? So I think I want to get a little bit more established and get more localized before I try to take on more people. You know, and if for some reason I would get signed before that, you know, that would be
Yeah.
solved pretty quickly by the, you know, the label. You know, I'm sure.
Right. Okay.
Hmm.
What I was trying to say was, other bands that we've interviewed in the industry today, they have said that they think that rock and roll is dying. Do you feel that way, or what's your outlook on that?
I feel that way to the degree of mainstream music, you know, because it seems like there's less and less of it in mainstream. But you know, when you get on the indie side, I think there's a lot of fantastic rock out there. You know, I just played a gig at the Rock Room in Pittsburgh a couple weeks back, a couple weekends ago, and I'm gonna tell you the caliber of music came out of that. I mean, I'm talking, you know, my type of rock to hardcore punk was playing there that night, and it's alive and well in the indie scene. You know what I mean? It's just going to take that one artist or whatever it is to get out there, to get noticed, you know, to bring that group back in, you know, like the 90s with the Nirvana and Alice in Chains and Stone Temple Pilots and all that, you know.
Okay. I know that here it's, well, first of all, where I live, rock is not the main.
We live in the rural mainstream country.
Yeah, we're definitely here, and I am far from that, so it is a rough crowd out here for me. But or to go see bands, even it's rough.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think that what do I want to say? Streaming music has made it impossible for artists to make a living.
Oh yeah, you can't make a living on it. I don't know anybody that can honestly say that they are, you know, it's an independent musician.
Right. Yeah, especially independent. I mean, unless you're like, you know, Guns N' Roses or something. I don't know.
Right. I mean, I guess I don't know anybody personally that can make a living off of it. I know I don't.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's tough out there for people, and that's why supporting your local artists and independent artists is so important. I think that or just in general, you know, small businesses and stuff, the corporations are taking over, and I think people need to not fall so much into that, but more into the independency.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, the venues that are playing local music, especially around the Pittsburgh and Erie area, and I even think Cleveland, from what I understand, is really booming right now. You know, and there's a lot of bands in the area. I know that for sure. You know, because I put in for a festival earlier in the year, and they were picking 300 or 350 bands or something, and they filled it up pretty quick. So there must be that many people out there in the region. You know what I mean? That to be able to fill that need. So, I mean, that's a good sign, you know, in itself, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have like any of what are like your most favorite songs to sing?
Of somebody else's or mine?
Yours. Or I
Of
mean, or
mine?
either one. Even if you enjoy a cover, that's okay too.
Of my own, I'm kind of, I don't know. I like Grimrock Radio a lot, you know. I got like a bunch of small stories about that one. That one was just crazy how it all went together. But I really like that one. And City's fun to do. And The Product. I really like The Product. I'm proud of that song, you know, even though it's an older song. The newer stuff, I think, Don't You? But other people's stuff, man, I really like, you know, like stuff that I can't sing. It's really heavy. You know, I try to sing with it, but I can't, you know. So I don't have that kind of voice.
What did you say it was?
I said I like really heavy stuff, but I can't sing to it because I don't have that kind of voice. You know what I mean? I like to act like I sing to
it. I like that stuff too. I can't sing at all, so
me neither.
It's all right. Before you get out on stage and stuff, do you do like a ritual or any type of like
something that's routine that you do every time before you go on stage?
As far as, I don't have a ritual, but a routine. You know, I just generally walk in with my stuff, and anybody that's there, I talk to right off the bat. You know, I don't care who it is. You know, it could be the maintenance guy for all I know. You know what I mean? I'm gonna talk to whoever's there, and that just opens me up to the vibe. You know, who's there. You know, if it's a venue where there's a bar and then there's a separate place where you're playing at, you know, I'll usually walk around the bar too and just BS with people, you know, and just break it there. You know what I mean? That way I have a better feeling of what to do as far as song set too. You know what I mean? I get their vibe, like how I think they're feeling. Then I'll kind of start with a different set than I might have already planned, not knowing what to expect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't have anything else other than that. It's just really just breaking the ice with everybody, you know?
Okay. Yeah. But I mean, still though, that's okay too. I feel like, so you're pretty outgoing online, I feel like. And so that, I feel like maybe you'd be pretty outgoing in person then too.
Oh yeah. I'll talk to anybody.
Okay.
Me
My
too.
wife yells at me all the time because I'll go somewhere and she'll be like, "You know that person?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "You know everybody."
Whenever we
Sorry.
go and hear a band play, I'm usually her voice. I'll go up
Yeah.
and ask the band for pictures or ask them questions or try and get something going for because she'll just kind of stand in the back, and which seems strange because usually it's something that she wanted to go do, but I'm the one who has to present
Right.
up to everybody.
Yeah, I'm
No.
pretty shy.
But
No, I mean, I'll walk up to somebody in a heartbeat. Even if I don't know them, it don't matter to me.
Yeah, not me.
she's not a people person really, but
No.
I'm not really either, but I'm not shy, you know.
Yeah, not me.
I'm a people person. I'm not really all too shy, so she's like, well, I'd really like to get a picture. Okay, I got you.
I think the people person part of it's like I just have to be brief, you know what I mean? And I'm like, that's, you know, when I'm out with people, you know.
Yeah.
I think that's as far as I get, you know what I mean? It's a kind of a brief contact between people, you know.
I think the only reason I have anything to do with people is when I go see a band. And that's about as people-y as I get.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Hopefully one day we'll be able to see you.
Yeah.
Man, I hope so too. I hope to make it out west, you know.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I'll make it up there for a photo shoot. Who knows at this point? I never thought I'd be in San Antonio, Texas, and there we were.
Hey, if you end up in Pittsburgh, let me know.
Our person either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a
Figure something out.
Yeah. But absolutely, I definitely tell you. But for people that are listening, because eventually all this is also going to be on like Spotify and stuff. So for people that are listening or watching, I also have his website scrolling down at the bottom. I don't know if you noticed that.
I did.
Where can people find you? What are your socials? All that stuff.
You can find me everywhere. If you can't find me somewhere, let me know and I'll find you a link. But how you have Grimrock and Roll down there, if you do at Grimrock and Roll in any of the social media, even YouTube, it'll bring me up. The only one that doesn't is Spotify because you can't do a personalized thing on Spotify, apparently. So Spotify, you have to actually look up Grimrock, you know what I mean, or Grimrock and Roll. But everywhere else, you can search up Grimrock and Roll and I'll come up.
Okay, that's awesome though, and it's
yeah, I'm like everywhere, even overseas, you know, and everything. I mean, I get a lot of radio play overseas. I'm on a lot of overseas platforms too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you've played on the Rockstar Radio a couple times too.
Yeah, I know. I seen that.
Yeah, and so that's one of my other partners. That's Angelina Green, and she's super awesome and supportive of independent and local artists too. So a lot of times I can get the bands if they're willing. Some aren't. Some are totally about it. Send their songs in and we play them, and I think it's great. I think it's great for people to just listen to something new.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I missed the first one when you guys did it, but then I got the second one. It was a replay. I actually listened to it work. What was funny about that, I was listening to it, and when somebody had come near me, I'd act like I was on hold, you know, with like something, you know what I mean, and then just kept doing it until I finally got to hear my track, you know what I mean. And by that time, it was
talk a lot. Yeah, sometimes we talk a lot.
That's okay. And I was like, yeah, I'm just waiting for, you know, I'm trying to get my car done, you know, like an hour later, a guy comes in and I'm like, yeah, man, I'm still stuck on hold, man. He just looks at me, shaking his head. And I'm like, hey, you know, what are you going to do?
Yeah. But I'm glad you were able to hear it. And we super appreciated you just sending us the track and just being so out there in general. It's super helpful. And I know that you're going to be extremely successful because you've got it. You've got the personality for it. And you know, it seems like you really know where to hit. So that's a plus.
I appreciate that. I'm just kind of, I feel kind of random sometimes, you know?
Same. Those sames. I get it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I really hope that everyone checks your music out, checks your website out. You got it going on your Facebook page. You seem to be pretty active on both Instagram and Facebook, and that's Grimrock and Roll, right? Okay. Do you have any other questions you would like to ask?
No, because I've kind of been in and out. So
Do you go by Grim? Like,
What's
is
that?
do you go by Grim?
Yeah, it's funny. If I say my name around certain places, they don't know who in the hell it is. They're like, "Who's that?" Like, "You're not that. You're Grim." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, yeah, I am."
Yeah. I think that's great though.
yeah.
People call me students had called me Miss Grim Reaper for a couple of years now.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I think it's because I don't know, maybe kind of scary. I'm not 100% sure. I'm just scared to ask.
She's so
I don't
dead
know.
inside.
Yeah.
It's got the word
So
Grim in it. It's got to be good.
I can relate a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on, and